Putin has big weekend plans in Ukraine. One, he's going to cut power and heat, knock out Ukrainian Navy and Air Force, kill general staff, and hit them with cyber attack. Two, then install pro-Russian president and resort to full-scale military invasion if Ukraine doesn't give in. This is Elon Musk being like, actually, technically it's over. You know, technically COVID is over by April. Motherfuckers are out here writing Wattpad, but like, you know, they're shipping themselves with war. Okay? Instead of shipping their favorite Minecraft content creators, they're writing Wattpads about, you know, how much the war gets their fucking fannies fluttering, okay? How much it gets them bricked up. The difference is Russian disinfo targets Russian people. American disinfo targets everyone in the world. We had headlines about the invasion here in Italy. Yep. Anyway. So, really, really interesting stuff. Now let's get to the other part of this fucking fun concept. Putin expected to attack Wednesday, according to the Ukrainian president. We already, like... half this coverage is like no longer real. What do we do? What do we do when like half that coverage is no longer real? We're gonna get to Canada in a second. Before we get to Canada, we already covered the CNN thing. I wanted to show you guys. The news reports that were coming out, the PR pieces that were coming out about the little grandma. Okay, grandmas and grandpas getting training, right? Real cool stuff. Where is it? Where's the Azov Battalion one? Does anyone have the? If this doesn't happen, will you agree to stop posting? No way. I'm a think tank expert. We make predictions. We get some right, we get some wrong. Things look mighty bad on Friday. They still do. Putin may strike on Wednesday, or he may sit on the border and just menace us all. BVP hasn't called yet to tell me his plans. Did he call you? But you're not just a think tank expert. First of all, you're not an expert at all. You're just like making shit up. Anyway, here we're gonna cover this as well. So this is a fucking news block that came out. This is insane. Everyone went along with it. By the way, like this, it's so weird that they just go along with the same fucking news story. Like you see it over and over again. Brace had a really good take on this. Hold on, the unison. It's like the fucking Sinclair Broadcasting video. Do you guys remember that Sinclair Broadcasting video of like local news channels? Literally reading out the same fucking talking points, and everyone was like, oh, this is crazy. Well, guess what, dude? They do that all the time for foreign policy, and you don't even recognize it, okay? One of those things is whenever news like this comes up, okay? Where they just like put her in fucking the front page, like they took this grandma on the front page. TrueAnon had like a thread about not a grandma but a nurse. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I'm going to show you that first just to get you to develop a better understanding of how this propaganda works or how prevalent this kind of propaganda is, okay? Oh, here it is. Here. So this is January 25th. Good BBC video on Ukrainian civilians getting military training to prepare for possible renewed Russian invasion. Marta Yuzkiv is one of them. Says she doesn't want war, but I should be ready to defend the country. Wow, these plucky Ukrainians have a 51-year-old woman ready to fight Russian aggression. Tom Namako. Meet Marta Yuzkiv, 51-year-old doctor wife, mother of 3 in Ukraine. Wow, these plucky Ukrainians have a 51-year-old woman ready to fight against Russian aggression. Tanya Kozyrovna. This is an investigative reporter, okay? On the day Russian tanks roll towards Kiev, Marta Yuskiv will be not with her children. Like a growing number of her female compatriots, the 51-year-old scientist will take up arms to defend the city with her life. Our latest for the Telegraph. We have a strong army, but not strong enough to defend against Russia, said Marta Yuskiv, a doctor working in clinical research. If we are occupied, and I hope that doesn't happen, we will become the national resistance. Wow, these plucky Ukrainians have a 51-year-old woman ready to fight Russian aggression. It's not Ukraine that's in danger, the whole democratic world, says Marta Yuskiv, a doctor volunteering with the military training force outside of Kiev. Fascinating postcard. DW News. 51-year-old Martha has volunteered to join Ukraine's military to send a message to Russia. Invasion would be costly. It's like they keep repackaging it over and over and over and over and over and over again. It's like literally a news bit. And you hear it, and you fucking hear it, and you just don't even see that. This is like so strange, okay? Whenever there is a narrative that the media wants to get across when it comes to foreign policy, they are repackaging this agitated propaganda for you, okay? Why? This is a fucking girl boss. She's well-read, she's telegenic, she's a fucking girl boss, okay? They find it, and then they literally use this as a talking point over and over and over and over again. This is how propaganda works. This is my job. My job is to break this down and explain it to you. And so many people refuse to fucking see it, okay? Watch. I'm gonna pee. I'll be back in a second.
It's important not to be scared, honestly. Because I am in my country, I am not doing anything wrong, and I'm just trying to protect my country. So it's like truth on my side. Almost impossible to imagine what will happen if I have to leave it, if I have to just fight and it will be destroyed. It could happen. I'm trying to be ready for this because definitely I don't want to preserve this on the price of being live under occupation.
They have to understand that this will be really painful for them. It would not be like easy walk through our country. They should evaluate it, and this should cost a lot for them.
We know that every single person could change something, and every single person could be heard. And on the other hand, we also know that when we join, we could be quite powerful. And I think Ukrainians are very good at this.
Is this necessarily a bad thing if it helps prevent an invasion? Dude, that's not what's going on. Are you fucking stupid? This is not like, what? This is not, there is no invasion. And two, this is not being done to prevent invasion. It's only being done to justify a certain type of people, it's only being done to dupe a certain type of person, okay? A progressively minded liberal person who believe that this is like a justifiable act that to like give more weapons to Ukraine and bring Ukraine into NATO is justifiable because like the big bad enemy is like literally gonna fucking roll over them. Okay, and also in the unfortunate and horrifying fucking circumstance where like some all-out war does occur, that mother is like rolled, bro. That's like she's fucking lasered. What are you talking about? That's so stupid. Anyway. But the reason why I showed this is not because, like, does that 51-year-old doctor, is she genuine? For sure. Okay, absolutely. Is she being used to frame a fucking specific type of narrative? Is she, like, being used, okay, right now, to create a fucking narrative? 100%. Anyway, so we're going to talk about this part now. The developing story, Ukraine Special Forces offering training to civilians. Does anyone have the full video? Because I want to watch that one. So the reason why I showed you that other doctor woman is because I want to show you this. Now, this is the new thing. Ukrainian great-grandmother Valentina Konstantinovska on an AK-47 training to defend against a possible Russian attack. Your mother would do it too, she told me. Leaders in the final push to avert Ukrainian invasion. Meeting with Putin set up amid attacks, claims of attack yesterday. PM urges Russia to step back from the brink. So, this is Euronews, but this is the only fucking news article that has actually referenced the far-right group. All the other ones have not referenced the far-right group at all. Now, I want to show the eyewitness news one that this video is from, though. That this screen grab is from. Because they're straight up wearing the Nazi patches in the video. Like the newer version of the Nazi patches. They did this shit with Yugoslavia too. So many fake headlines. Okay, where does Dr. Lady was working for Azov as well? No. These are like normal fucking people. These are normal people that are getting training from what they think is the fucking National Guard. The problem is, and I can't describe this, okay? I can't explain this to you guys, especially with your American brains. It's very difficult to explain to people because nationalism on the other side of the planet is very different. Like, you have a way of analyzing it here where you look at it and you go, okay, I get that. That's nationalism. It's like intertwined with white supremacy, American nationalism. But like nationalism elsewhere, nationalism in like Turkey, nationalism in Ukraine is, how do I describe it? It has way more historic precedent. It's like tied up with mythology. It is, it's like almost a normative position, okay? Like there are straight up ultra nationalist parties, for example, in Turkey, MHP, the second largest conservative party that's an active part of the coalition for the AKP, the current AKP government, is an ultra nationalist party. The fucking Grey Wolves, when I do this, like when I do this shit and people say, oh, you're fucking memeing about Grey Wolves, like those guys are considered to be normal. Like their feelings are considered to be normal, but it's not normal, okay? It's like hyper fucking nationalistic, and it's literally like borderline fascist. So that grandma could have borderline fascist takes. I don't know. And still be considered like a normal grandma, okay? Where I'm trying to, like I said, I'm trying to find the actual video. Oh, this is it.
These men training on a.
So this is like Al Jazeera covering it, but American news didn't cover it as like Nazis are training them.
In Ukraine say they want to defend their country from Russian aggression. Freikorps has its origin in German nationalist groups of the 18th and 19th century, and the leaders.
For the record, that's just straight Nazi. That's like, they're calling themselves the Freikorps, okay?
Of the group say it has thousands of members, but only 60 have bought their own licensed weapons and regularly serve alongside Ukrainian army soldiers on the 420-kilometer front line. 24-year-old Gleb studied Homeland Security and Crisis Management at university.
Also, why are they on the AR platform? That, like, or well, I mean, we know why, but
University. He says one day
Freikorps with the fucking Wolf's Angel, like that, this right here is that's a Nazi insignia. They're literally wearing Nazi insignia, calling themselves the Freikorps. Okay?
he wants to open a gun shop.
Why did you choose Freikorps?
Because they're more ideologically closer to me. So I decided to join them.
When you say they are more ideologically closer to you, can you tell me what you mean by that? How? What do you believe in ideologically?
Can we pause that? Okay.
Sure.
Freikorps
Huh, that's weird. What the fuck? That's crazy. Why is it more okay for Turkey to be nationalist but not America? We've both committed genocide and atrocity. It's not. I was just talking about, I'm trying to educate Westerners on Eastern nationalism. Okay? I'm trying to educate Westerners by giving you an example. I'm saying it's a normative position and it's insidious the way that like nationalism can be trafficked into the common rhetoric as a consequence of the cultural identifiers with nationalism for countries like this. Okay?
is not the only armed group accused of being neo-Nazis that has appeared in Ukraine since the conflict with Russian-backed separatists started in 2014. Others, like these men with the powerful Azov Battalion, have been...
Didn't Turkey commit far worse genocides and crimes in the USA and even for a longer time span? Wait, what? What are you saying right now, dude? I don't even understand what this fucking conversation is, dude. Like, the number one, I'm getting debated. Okay, let's continue.
into the Ukrainian security services under the Ministry of Interior.
Freikorps and many groups like them have been praised by Ukrainians for their willingness to take up arms and defend the country against what they describe as Russian aggression. But that does not mean that they are popular amongst voters at the ballot box.
A coalition of right-wing groups only managed to win less than 3% of the vote in the last parliamentary elections in 2019.
That's the other part about it, is that like nationalism is growing, or like fascist far-right movements are growing in Ukraine, but at the fucking ballot box they are not represented. But in the media, God, oh my God, if you look at Western media, you would think the entire fucking nation, even if you look at Russian media and their propaganda, the entire nation of Ukraine is full of fucking Nazis, right? But in America looks to those Nazis and points to those Nazis and says, these are brave Nazis that are trying to defend Ukraine. Okay? But it's like this is the template, okay? America takes one of the most awful, insidious, reactionary elements and arms them and legitimizes them and uplifts them until they literally do end up getting more fucking national prominence. It has happened time and time again. And whenever I mention it, whenever I bring it up, like the Mujahideen, whenever I bring it up with respect to like Gladio, or whenever I bring it up with like Latin American countries, Nicaraguan death squads, right? You're like, oh, dude, that's whataboutism. No, it's not. This is exactly what America has done historically and is trying to do in Ukraine currently. It's the same thing. It's the exact same thing. And they're doing it. And they're doing it over and over again. But for some fucking weird reason, no one recognizes it. Yeah, and is it similar to the coverage of Cuba? Yeah, that's another great example. Thank you, Crumbum. Thank you. Remember when everyone told me I was a fucking piece of shit for actively denying the revolution that was ongoing in Cuba, and then I showed you that even fucking Fox News was literally showing pro-government communist protesters and making it seem like they were counter-protesters that were like protesting against Cuba? What happened then? Remember when the Miami mayor was literally like, we should nuke Cuba, we should drone strike Cuba immediately? What happened, dude? Yeah, Cuba Libre, right? What happened? Pulled that one out of your ass? No. What do you mean? Pulled that one out of my ass? Okay, this is a gray name. Like, who cares? Why is it that in like 99.9% of foreign policy situations, I go against the prevailing media fucking narrative, okay? I go against the media narrative, the mainstream media narrative that is like declared in this way, that is like overwhelmingly in support of like whatever America's adversaries are against, okay? But for some fucking reason, like, I'm right. I'm so regularly right on this shit, but you guys still say, "Oh man, you're wrong," and then you move on, and then we totally forget about it.
But some of its leaders, such as Dmytro Yarosh, have been made advisors to the head of the Ukrainian military. Participants in this torch-lit rally resembling Nazi gatherings in 1930s Germany hold a banner honouring Stefan Bandera, a Ukrainian Nazi collaborator widely recognized as organizing the massacre of tens of thousands of ethnic Poles in Ukraine towards the end of World War II. Bandera is the nickname fellow Freikorps volunteers gave this man. 24-year-old Bogdan says the group has its origin in what he calls pan-Slavism, connecting similar-minded people.
That's my favorite take, because like pan-Slavism is so funny. Because the Nazis don't consider them human. Like, they'll work with them, right, for a little bit until they wipe them out. And it's like the funniest thing. It's like, dude, you're not, like, they don't think you're fucking human, idiot. Like, you're not white. Like, you're not Aryan. You're not master race, you dumb bitch. It's so funny. It's like, no, it's, we will rise up. We will do pan-Slavism. Fucking dumbass, dude. Ay, it's so good. It's so good. It's like fucking Nicholas Fuentes, that like Hispanic Nazi. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, you would get murdered. Okay, you would get fucking murdered.
Across Slavic regions of Eastern Europe, including Russia. But that changed when the conflict started.
If the West respects democracy and pluralism of views, they have to respect our views. But to get to...
Yeah, what about the diversity of opinion, dude? What about the diversity of my Nazi opinions? I love that. It's always the same, dude. They're so one note. Yeah, what about my diversity of opinion? You liberals, you say you care about diversity, but here I am diversifying the opinion pool, okay? By saying we need less diversity.
The political future, we would need to show people we can be competent leaders. We need to gather like-minded thinkers, qualified and educated people. If we manage that, we will have a political future.
But liberals do agree with that. Liberals literally look to this guy and go, "Wow, what a wonderful young man."
And political strength.
Experts say the far right in Ukraine has its origins in football hooliganism, poverty, and a country that, along with many other post-Soviet states, has struggled with political corruption.
The Russian-Ukrainian border didn't really exist for these movements. The Russian far right and the Ukrainian far right moved in these same circles, and then when the war came, some of them chose one side and some of them chose the other. And the fact is that the connections are still very much there in some parts, and it's almost certain that there are Russian agents of some sort within these movements.
Freikorps leaders say they've been overwhelmed by people wanting to join since the crisis between Ukraine and Russia has escalated. But as NATO countries throw their weight behind Ukraine, they should perhaps be aware of what this conflict is creating on both sides.
That's great. The football thing is so fucking true, even in a privileged country like Italy. Holy shit, it's the first time I see anyone talking about it. Yes, hooliganism is always linked back to like fascist movements, or hooligans will routinely be used as hooligans have always been used as like the paramilitary forces for fascist movements. Yeah. What's your take on why the USA arms up these extreme nationalists? I wonder why. Because they're an incredibly effective way of creating instability on the ground. They're usually willing to fucking fight. They're psychotic. I mean, I don't know what else to describe there, other than, Some groups are ultra left wing too. Yes, there is football hooliganism that's ultra leftist as well. Ukraine should be more powerful in weapons and military to protect Ukraine because of weirdos like that exist. My friend, I don't know if you can't comprehend it. I'm not even saying the entirety of the Ukrainian military is like this, okay? But what you have to understand is like America is actively arming, training fascists. Why do you not have a problem with that? Why do you think that that's like? Why do you think that that's okay? Oh man, if a couple fascists get fucking guns in training and then they go out and like, you know, spread their ideology further, then that's fine. That is completely justifiable. You focus on them a whole lot though. Yeah, because Al Jazeera is the only fucking outlet that's covering it by saying Ukraine is offering training to civilians, whereas American media is covering it as just like, oh, Ukrainian special forces are offering training to civilians, when like the Azov Battalion's fucking Nazi crest is quite literally right there. Like, that's fucking insane. How do you not see that? Okay. It's so strange that you think this is like normal, you know? It's like we're literally giving guns and training and legitimacy to Nazis, like actual Nazis. Okay? And the thing is, and we're legitimizing those Nazis, okay? So what ends up happening in that situation is the exact same as Afghanistan. Here's how MSNBC covered this. Okay, thank you. This is what I was looking for.
Some communities are taking matters into their own hands. Just across from Russia, in the city of Mariupol, some Ukrainians are preparing. Basic training for the whole family. Learning first aid to...
Don't you think that that's terrifying? Don't you understand how awful that is? That like the legitimate forces there... But Hasan is totally different. They aren't Muslim, exactly. But, you know. Don't you think it's like fucking terrifying that we are doing exactly the same shit that we've done? Like exactly the same shit that we've done. That is the Azov Battalion crest, for the record. That is a Nazi symbol. And they're not even doing a good job of hiding it. They literally got fucking punished for it. And then they turned around and changed it up a little bit. The Azov Battalion guy and his Nazi Wolf's Angel symbol is overseeing Baba Valentina. Naturally, the US TV media is beaming into our homes, keeps disciplined silence. The Nazi insignias are fine, just don't mention them out loud. And people fucking yell at me and say I'm crazy for this. And they say, why are you covering this so much? Why are you covering it? Well, I don't know. It's never actually been good. You know? Yeah, they had the black sun on top of the Wolf's Angel too. Then they deleted the black sun before their PR rebrand. Exactly. This is what their shoulder patches look like. For those of you who don't know, the black sun is Wewelsburg, Himmler's home for his knights in the SS. A black sun orbits our Earth, totally invisible to the naked eye, emanating power and knowledge to those who can sense it, illuminating for them the hidden Reich. Like, they literally deleted the black sun from it to hide it. The reason why they deleted the black sun from it is because they got a lot of fucking flack, but they kept the Wolf's Angel, and America is just covering it without even mentioning it. Yeah, Al Jazeera talks about it from the point of view of like, these are fucking literally neo-Nazis that are training people, right? The Freikorps, the neo-Nazis are training these people, but American media is not even mentioning that. Western media never mentions that. Rarely ever mentions shit like this. Okay? Just like sometimes I forget to mention the top of the hour ad break, where there's a 60-second ad break. And if you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe. And that you can subscribe for $5 or you can subscribe for free with a Twitch Prime. Or if you're lucky, you can get gifted a sub. Okay, and sometimes I don't mention it for the first 15 minutes, but now I'm mentioning it and I'm running the ad break now. The Wolf's Angel was the initial symbol of the Nazi Party in World War II. The sign and its elements were used by various German SS armored and infantry divisions such as Waffen-SS Division Das Reich and Waffen-SS Division Landsturm Nederland. So we only train the military that wasn't fascist. You would have an issue. Would you have an issue? No, I still would have an issue. But the reason why I'm showing this is because the fascist militia elements have already taken over significant strategic positions within the National Guard, because that's what they did. They fucking literally took the actual Nazis. Remember, Ukraine's leader is Jewish, okay? But they are still collaborating with actual fucking Nazis. The US and EU are not supporting Azov and Pravi sector. They're supporting the Ukrainian army. Why is that wrong? Because the Ukrainian army has active Nazi battalions within it. Why do you not see this? Why do you not understand this? Why do you not recognize that they can openly fucking have their coat of arms out and about like this, okay? And the United States has historically run the top of the hour ad break, which I'm running right now, okay? But they've historically utilized reactionary components, fascist components like this within governments, within the security forces of governments to actively destabilize regions. You can say it's one fucking battalion and it's not a big deal, but the same concept, the same principle existed with the Contras. The same concept, the same principle existed with the Mujahideen. Okay. And it's not just 60 fucking people. Like that's like 60 people in one fucking troop that are actively and openly showcasing Nazi gear. I don't know what else to tell you. Like you literally have fucking John McCain and Amy Klobuchar with these fucking dudes. The American government has been like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. We shouldn't do this." Okay, we should no longer train and give arms to the Nazi groups. And yet, for some fucking weird reason, no one recognizes it. Like, oh, it's just a couple Nazis, like, chill. It's not just a couple Nazis. And a couple Nazis can literally take over a big chunk of these aren't just a couple Nazis. They're literally a couple Nazis that are training people, okay? They're training the people. They're able to give formal training and brainwashing, active brainwashing to the people in fucking actual regions here.
Matters into their own hands. Just across from Russia, in the city of Mariupol, some Ukrainians are preparing. Basic training for the whole family. Learning first aid to treat gunshot and shrapnel wounds. And weapons training on a 7.62 caliber AK-47 is
look at this! That's the grandma getting trained by a fucking straight up Nazi with a straight up Nazi patch, and you are like, and the American media is not even covering that part of it.
Konstantinovskaya. The 79-year-old is a retired accountant and a great-grandmother.
You're about my mother's age, and I can't picture my mother laying down on the concrete learning how to fire an assault rifle. Do you think you would actually be doing this?
Yes, if Putin comes, I should be able to shoot. The threat is very serious, she says, and I think every person in our country should be able to shoot from the window or on the street if the enemy comes. Some communities are taking matters into their own hands. Just across.
Like, doesn't that strike you as odd? The people that are like saying Donald Trump's a Nazi, MSNBC that says Donald Trump's a Nazi, Donald Trump's a Nazi, Donald Trump's a Nazi, are literally staring at actual fucking Nazis with Nazi patches, and they're turning around and going, no, that's fine. Like, this is chill. What the fuck? We will never learn from our mistakes. We will never learn from our foreign policy if you chatters who are supposedly in a fucking socialist anti-imperialist broadcast are turning a fucking blind eye to this and being like, well, Russia's worse, so we gotta fucking train the Nazis. Or it's not the whole country. Can't wait for that 3% influence to grow further, by the way. In a country where that kind of reactionary influence has had historic precedent, which we literally pointed to. It's great. Perhaps the most prominent position an ideological militia can be in is physically teaching the normists. Chatter's denying this. Imagine your mom and dad are being taught by Nazis how to defend themselves. You don't think they may turn around and be like, these guys are all right? Yeah. So de-escalation is the appropriate way to do this. By the way, I love that people saying Putin's also a Nazi, but the stronger one, and actively expanding his sphere of influence. It makes sense to try and stop him. Okay. No, you got it. Yo, no, you just got to make sure your Nazis are stronger than the other side's Nazis. Got it. What happened to your diet, Lamau? Wait, what do you mean? I'm eating a falafel, you fucking weirdo. Why is it that when I eat falafel alongside like a falafel alongside fucking straight white chicken breast, motherfuckers are like, dude, your diet is blown up. It's over. What's that? It's not your place as an American to tell what Ukrainians are or what their cultural ways are. Sit this one out, sweaty. It's not even their culture. I mean, there are parts of their culture, but Dmitry Wagner Ushkin, leader of the Wagner Group, awarded 4 medals by Putin for service in Donbass. The worst part about it is not even the fucking nationalists on the Putin side, or nationalists on the Putin side directly being funded by the Russian government, but there's also the Chechen reactionaries as well, for the record. Like, I agree, and I've mentioned this before as well, that there are absolutely fucking Nazis on the, or not Nazis, but like hyper-nationalists, ultra-nationalist Nazis on the Russian side as well. Except, we're not arming them, you fucking idiot. Am I arming those Nazis? No, but my tax dollars are arming the Nazis on the one side. And this is exactly what the fuck happened in Afghanistan. But Adam, something disagreed with you. Are you allowed to have your own opinion? No, I guess I have to agree with Adam something, a person who I've introduced this community to, who now believe that he's correct and I'm wrong. Anyway. Like, this is just absolute fucking madness, dude. We covered this. Threat of the Ukrainian invasion. We talked about the Azov Battalion, the Special Operations Unit.